Diaspora Insurance. Peace of mind guaranteed.
Those are gonna get a Diaspora Insurance. So, kwatiri inotipa is a peace of mind. Because Diaspora Insurance, peace of mind, iritititi.
Irufumweni arune ine ushewi venda mbinga tose tinobaya saka chiuya chimbi munamoti chakumiririra kunyangwe uve mhiri yemakungwa unonzwa voti rwaiswa rwendo rwaiswa Diaspora yapindira moyo voti rwaiswa rwendo rwaiswa Diaspora yapindira
Diaspora Insurance. Peace of mind guaranteed.
Well, it is a very good evening to you, of yours witnesses. Join us live. This is News Network ZimI. And today we have a special program that is dedicated for our community who are, as they say, Kuchando, who are yonder. And I guess it comes with the name, Diaspora Insurance, the company that many people have known. We've got the CEO joining us tonight. Just as you come in, type in the comment box right there. Let us know which part of Zimbabwe. I know there's some people who are locally in Zimbabwe, but also which type of the world it is and what time it is where you are. Some people who are yonder in Australia, kunyasi kuchando kwakasiyana siyana ikoko, you've got different time zones. Okay, thank you. And very good evening to you, Mr. Madzingo. Jeff.
Thank you, and good evening.
Welcome once again, and thank you for sacrificing and coming through to interact. We've called this program Face to Face, okay, with Diaspora Insurance. A lot of people, they communicate on social media, various platforms, and they never get a chance to interact. I mean, you wouldn't rarely ever interact with Elon Musk. I don't know if you have. I haven't. Okay. Or with of Mark Zuckerberg, maybe he has. But today we have Diaspora Insurance. Very panababa. We also have another group in the community. I think, Mr. Madzingo, you remember we have seen some of these groupings where people end up coming out, popping out, complaining.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
Are you one of those people? Magapirwa Mari, let us know if you're out there and you lost money. You know, you went into, let's say, a burial society. Like we once had, I think, and all of those times. And you never got a chance to interact with the founders. This is a session, one of those where you can actually interact with a company that is there and that has been doing it over the years. Jeff, thank you.
Yeah,
Quickly, how did you start this machine, Jeff? I would like to understand, because I've rarely ever heard of my complaints coming from your company. You know, as an investigative journalist, I tend to hear more of controversy than any other, you know, in my ears on a day-to-day basis, because popota and so they come to Kwandiri and to a few others. But you, I've not heard anything at all. And they're gonna find it chili popana papa, by the way. You can actually call in if you want. You've got my number. I can also give you here and tell us you can interact with Mr. Madzingo. But Jeff, before we get there, and before maybe we get people calling in, right, with their questions, how did you start Diaspora Insurance? Shakafamba say, for us to get here, where you would start this engine that would roll for more than 10 years. Pastor Morina kana rumor. How does that? No, take us through.
Yeah, thank you, thank you so much, and thank you for having us as well. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world tuning in. We thank you for your time, and we want to welcome you to this dialogue and discussion. Diaspora Insurance is something like you rightly said, it's been delivering peace of mind for over a decade now. This April, we are celebrating 12th anniversary. And as a company, we've grown exponentially, and have served the community in a very, very remarkable way. How Diaspora Insurance started was basically like a calling. It was something that we realized that the communities were suffering. So we were motivated by changing the narrative for the diasporans. We were motivated by having suffered personal tragedies at a personal level as well, and realizing that communities were suffering and there should be a better solution. So our motivation was essentially to create a common solution for the common good of people, especially the diasporans, given that every time there was a bereavement, people were begging for money, and people were ending up in mortuaries. Sometimes I know cases where people ended up in mortuaries in the around 2010, 2000, somewhere there, going 3 months, 8 months without getting buried because there was no funds to do that. So Diaspora Insurance, at a personal level, myself, I lost my own brother February 2000, and I lost my best friend initially February 2011, and we had to put money together to get him taken back home for burial. The following year in February, I lost my brother, and we again had to go through the same process of raising money to do the burial, which was quite stressful. And we realized that communities were suffering. We needed an institutionalized framework, an institutionalized way of doing insurance where people can enjoy financial security, not just today, tomorrow, mid-term, long-term, and also create some form of intergenerational financial security. So that's what inspired us to get Diaspora Insurance. And our team, we preach, yet our team, they know that when everyone in our team is prepared to go the extra mile to help the community, and we always talk of our work not being just work, but a calling to support the community. So that's what keeps us inspired. That's what keeps us on the track to do the right thing, and to protect our clients, making sure that the product has got the correct regulation, FSCA, the product has got the correct financial protection in terms of financial compensation scheme. The product is reinsured into the world's biggest reinsurance companies, so that we can talk of real intergenerational financial security. This is something that should span generations, not just an informal setup where the money goes into Jeff's pocket. Jeff ends up on holiday or buying Porsche cars and stuff. We don't do that. We want to save the community.
I need you to just explain to me, maybe flip into Shona, that phrase, intergenerational
financial security.
Financial security, yeah. Those are big words.
Harisi vhoko itsi just kuti pachivanhu chedu tinosiyana navarungu pakuti pachivanhu pedu tinowanza kushanda nezvekuguta nhasi. Hatitarisiri kuti vana ndichasiyira chii, zvandiri kuita nhasi zvichazofamba sei mune ramangwana revana. And zvinozotisiyanisa pavarungu pakuti unowana mwana womurungu achitanga upenyu hwake achitova nemari yokuti anokwanisa kutanga project kana kuti anenge achitova nemari yokuti anokwanisa kudhiposita imba. But iwewe kana vanhu vatema kazhinji tinowanza kuti sekuuya kwatikaita kudiaspora pamwe unotangira pakuti certificate ndiyo, that's all you have, then you have to find your way. Saka techida kuti vanhu vawane rubatsiro namaproducts okuti anovabatsira kuti vawane support kana kuti vabuilde zviri long term. Handidi kuti ndinotorera mwana wangu ndojoinisa mwana wangu burial society, ini ndafa burial society yacho hapachina uchainda, mwana wangu hapana chaanowana pazviri, zomba zvangoti mbumbumbu zvakadero. Saka with a proper financial product yakaita seDiaspora Insurance, you know kuti you are creating long term intergenerational financial security kuti cover yandatorera mwana wangu ichamusevha, and that creates financial security muupenyu hwake. Saka ndizvo zvatiri kuda kuti tishande zviri formal as a community, tisina zvokuti you cheat each other or you shortchange each other and give products which are long term.
Right. And I understand that, I mean, I've seen that obviously. It's now a public secret. Mm-hmm. There are more nationalities that you are serving. When you started, I remember 2013, 2014, it was only Zimbabwe. Which countries are you now serving?
It's quite a lot now. And when we started the first policies we did were 2012. And that was in April. And that's when we celebrate our annual anniversary. We started Zimbabwe. We went on to add Zambia. Then we went on to add another 11 countries. Just last week, we added another 6 countries. So the countries on my background there, they are all now qualifying nationalities, which means anyone from those countries, wherever they are in the world, they qualify to be covered under the Diaspora Insurance, the bespoke policy we do called the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. So in Southern Africa, we cover quite a lot of countries. Talk of Zimbabwe, South Africa, you talk of Namibia, Eswatini, Botswana, Malawi, Zambia. We go North Africa, we do cover Nigeria now, we do cover Cameroon, we do cover Ghana, and we do cover countries, Central Africa, DRC, Congo, going East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia. So we do cover a lot of countries now, and the appetite for the product is very big. Wherever we go around the world, we find ourselves confronted by nationalities that are not qualifying, to say, why are you excluding us? So we are keeping on taking the solution to the people and creating the solution so that people can get the support they need.
Let me cut you there. Why should people trust a company that is FCA registered? And by the way, maybe also explain to us what is FCA, because a lot of in our community I've noticed. Just a few days ago, I had 3 people actually contact me. They are members of a burial society, and they put in money because, they can't take that money. They can't be given money after their loved one has died. We also have a group of Zimbabweans in South Africa who lost millions of rands when they trusted a man who I can't mention right now. But this man, because he had done some immigration issue, they then offloaded everything. And because right now those people don't have anything. My question to you is, what is FCA registration and why?
Why it's important?
Yeah.
That's a very.
Can you maybe briefly touch on that so that we can go onto the other issues? Maybe.
That's a very critical question, because as individual consumers, we don't have the technical expertise we don't have the resources, we don't have the know-how in terms of validating service providers. So the responsibility of the regulator, especially in financial and in insurance industry, is to protect the consumer. That's the main responsibility of the regulator, to protect the consumer, making sure that the service providers who are providing the different services, be it banking, be it insurance, are regulated. They are authorized and regulated, they are vetted and confirmed to be fit and proper to provide the service. So it's very, very important that regulation is considered when it comes to financial products, more so where it involves handling client money. So Diaspora Insurance is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. What that means is that our clients have got protection from knowing that the provider is being vetted and is regulated by the regulator. And the UK being a first world country, and also UK being more like the financial capital of the world, regulation is very stringent. And to see a provider being regulated, it means that they are doing everything right. And also they are monitored by the regulator to make sure that you keep on doing the right thing. So it's very important.
What is the threshold? What is the threshold? So, because someone would want to know, if I'm in a group where, let's say, $1,000 or £1,000 is collected, does our grouping have to be registered with FCA? Pane threshold there, how much?
It's not that simple. That how much you are collecting to start with. If you are not authorized and regulated to handle client money, you shouldn't collect the money to start with. So there are situations where people are misled into saying, we are a burial society, we've been running for so many years, so it's safe. We are a grouping, we have a company registration number. You can check our company registration number. It's not that simplified. You can register a company 5-10 minutes in the UK, you can have a company registration number. And when people are talking to people who are not in the know, they tend to flag that company registration number as if it's the registration. It's not. To check if someone is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, it's very simple. You just Google FCA register, and there you can search the name of the company or the product that you are being sold. If it's not there, red flag. Because if anything goes wrong, it means you are not protected under the Financial Compensation Scheme in the UK. And that's the same scheme that protects the bank account, to say if a bank collapses, don't worry about going to queue to say, I want my money, sleeping outside saying, I want my money. Your money is protected under a compensation scheme.
Right.
Okay. And the same compensation scheme protects Diaspora Insurance clients. But not only that, with insurance, it goes back to the issue of treating customers fairly. It goes back to the issue of protecting consumers. With insurance, you also have to talk of reinsurance and underwriting, making sure that your product is reinsured, and Diaspora Insurance is reinsured into the world's biggest reinsurance companies, which means over and above Diaspora Insurance being authorized by FCA, our clients being FSCA protected, we are also double protected through reinsurance, which is very, very critical. And it's something that an average person may not know, that those are very critical issues that you need to consider when you're talking about financial products.
Right.
And what you find with some of these groups, they may seem like they are passing the test of time, but eventually something will go wrong. I know you had some big confrontation before with another group. When things went wrong, then what tends to happen is that because they are not trained, they don't have the structures to protect client money, the monies of the clients are abused, or they make wrong investment decisions, or over time as the claims increase, they fail to pay. And as they fail to pay, reciprocity dies, because most of these mutual assistance schemes, they tend to thrive on reciprocity. To say, they helped this one, I will be helped. But the moment the reciprocity is threatened, people stop contributing, the money dries out, and then that's it. In any case, if you come to think of it, the world we live in, the first world now, it's different from our community-based existence back home. Back home, we tend to live more communally, be it in Nairobi, be it in Soweto, be it in Chitungwiza. We tend to live communally, and we care about the next door neighbor. When you come to the diaspora, like a first world country like UK, it's very cosmopolitan and very individualistic. So in as much as I, as a first generation migrant, may join a burial society, it's very folly of me to think that my children will benefit from that burial society. It's not going to happen. They are brought here. They don't even know who lives next door. And there is no concept of communal existence in our children. So you're not creating intergenerational financial security by making them belong to some of these informal settings where there is no long-term protection. So that again goes back.
You've called them some of them. Every one of these informal units, organizations, has come with a scandal. Money has always been lost. I have another grouping where Zimbabweans lost 25 million. And when I was checking in the register who group Imomo, I noticed one lady who is from two other programs that I exposed since 2018. She has been joining. She came from one Yainzi Madzimai something, left that one. We when I exposed, they managed to recover 32,000, and they were also told about FCA registration. After that, she joined a burial society which was called Buova, Bulawayo based. And you know what? The person who was running that went to Bulawayo, squandered the money, and died in Bulawayo. So everyone lost a penny. And now she's in a third group.
Yeah.
with 25 million. Mr. Madzingo.
What is critical to the people who are joining some of these things is to just check, are you FCA registered, so that you know there's protection or there's no protection.
Right. So financial conduct. So just so that I cut you, Financial Conduct Authority, understanding that an institution is Financial Conduct Authority registered, helps you to know that you are secured under a financial compensation, financial conduct, whatever. What is it called?
Financial compensation scheme.
Financial compensation scheme. So don't lose money, because if you just go and you just join simply because my cousin is in there, UK, he's also a member, then you're the one who's going to lose. Right. So I'm hoping those who are listening, you're also pressing the share button, because next time. Okay. And really, I mean it, because just a few days ago, I actually have a group of people who have lost money. Jeff, we're just going to go for a brief break, and then we'll come back.
Those are going to get a Diaspora Insurance. So, kwatiri inodipa is a peace of mind. Was Diaspora Insurance, peace of mind, irritated.
Irufumweni arune ine ushewi vendambinga tose tinobaya saka chiuya chimbi munamoti chakumiririra kunyangwe uve mhiri yemakungwa unonzwa voti rwaisipa rwendo rwaisipa Diaspora yapindira moyo voti rwaisipa rwendo rwaisipa Diaspora yapindira.
Diaspora Insurance. Peace of mind guaranteed.
Those are going to get a Diaspora Insurance.
Right. That's Mambo Duterere there. And Yapindira Diaspora Insurance.
Yeah.
Jeff, take us into these group schemes. I would like to know the two categories. Help me to know the difference. Yeah. Want to try and run through our last segment, short, sharp, and just so that we get my blips and blobs, and then maybe people can call in. Take us through, please. I understand
Yeah,
there are two
yeah.
groups here, please.
Thank you. Yeah. So
Thank you.
the products
I
that we are.
apologize. I think my screen had been cut there. Yeah, please go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you to the listeners. The products that we are launching are the group schemes. We actually have got over the years realized that sometimes these informal groups that have been formed may not have any solution to transform into a formalized insured group, and we need to intervene and help them. So we came up with two options where people can transform from a formal setting into a formal setting, or where people had no cover at all, they can also just go on the options. So the whole idea of group policies is to create an opportunity for groups, be it churches, be it employers, COS companies, be it business chamber, be it associations, and be it a club. What we want to create is a situation where we arrest the nightmare that people face, that every time a member of a church dies, you end up with a situation where you have to be contributing money. Before you realize, man, then you have contributed so much money towards these bereavements. So what we want is to create an opportunity for the churches, COS employers, any other employer, and all the other qualifying groups to say, if there is an opportunity for you to set up as a group, there are two options under the group policies. One is the group plan. The second one is a group scheme. So the difference between the group plan that we launched and the group scheme is that under a group plan, you are bringing in a group, you are constituted, you are banked, you've got a management structure, and you are taking a policy for all your members. One universal policy for all your members. You get one policy, you pay one premium for all your members. In the event of a claim, the claim is managed through the group management structure. That's under the group plan. So everything goes through the group, and you are supporting each other as a group. That one suits people who are constituted, people who are banked, people who have got a management structure, and they can manage their premiums through the management. Why would a group do that? By doing that, it transfers the financial risk and financial shocks that groups always suffer when they lose a member. This may be a church group. When you lose one of your own, the risk of suffering reputational damage, or the name going into disrepute that you can't bury your own, is just too high. It's just too high to say you lost a member of your church. People are contributing, the money is not enough. It's bringing the name of the church organization into disrepute. It may be the case that you are an employer and one of your employees has died. You can't help with the burial. It again brings everyone into disrepute. So we are saying to the groups that are constituted like that, you can take a policy where you cover all your members. Your members can contribute through the company, or you can pay for the members through the company or through the church or whatever arrangement, but you are taking one policy to cover everyone. The second option is a hybrid between groups and individual policies. It's a hybrid in that it brings the benefits from group plans into policies that we call a group scheme. And a group scheme, basically, it's not for, it can be for constituted groups when people opt to say, yes, we are a group, but let's everyone take their own policies so that each individual member manages their own risk going forward, pay their own premium. and when they die, they make the claim themselves and they are paid directly, not through the group. We call those group schemes. So typically, we launched a group scheme which we termed the COS funeral scheme. And we say designed to say welcome abroad. It's a scheme that identifies a cluster of people who work in the health industry, who work in the care industry, to say welcome, because there's been a lot of people coming under the COS scheme. So we are saying welcome abroad. We have got a scheme which speaks to your needs. We have got a scheme which welcomes you to give you a soft landing as you settle abroad. So under that scheme, you enjoy the benefits of group, but you are taking your own policy because you belong to that cluster of people. The same can be done with a chamber of commerce. The same can be done with a COS employer to say, we are telling our employees to say, we've got a risk here, and if anything goes wrong, we will have a problem. Can you please join under this scheme? So people can join and take individual policies, pay individually, get one policy document. In the event of a claim, the monies are paid direct to you, not through the group. So under group plans, the one policy, universal policy, people, the policy is managed by the group structure. The premiums are paid one premium for everyone. Then in the event of a claim, it's paid through the group. Under the scheme, people have individual policies, but also enjoy the benefits that may accrue to being a cluster of an identifiable cluster of people.
So on that, you're telling me that if I'm a member, let's say a better society, can actually have a group policy inside as well.
Correct. Yeah, that's what we have always been encouraging people to say. It's not sustainable to run a burial society, especially in a country like UK or America or Australia. Burial societies, by their nature, they are informal mutual assistance schemes which thrive on reciprocity, knowing that we all live in Mukumbadzetse street in Chitungwiza. You can't run away from your people from Mukumbadzetse street in Chitungwiza or Kumalo street in Soweto. So you come together to support each other as a burial society. But in the UK, where people are scattered, forming a burial society on the basis that we all come from Zimbabwe. When I live in Scotland, someone lives in London, someone lives in Cardiff. It's not sustainable. Long term, you end up with problems.
Could this be a way? I'm sorry for cutting you. Of then solving some of the inequalities that people complain about in a better society. One, I'll tell you what, feedback that I get of my better societies is that when we are part of this group, eventually what turns out, it becomes a center or an institution to abuse people, to abuse others. So someone can just wake up tomorrow morning and say, you're not getting any money. You're not getting it because because of this and that. And you then it becomes like a cult. It becomes like a churchy cult, sort of, where people are mind controlled and so
I think it's largely because of the fact of the whole operation being informal, and you find the relative of the founder dies, or uncle this just died, money goes out. Uncle this the local this dies, money goes out. Very little checks, no checks. Then when a member starts to claim, then the rules are changed. And you are told the new rules at the point
you're
of
telling
claim.
me the formalization then can happen. So
the formalization can happen. You can transform you can basically transform the group into either a group policy or a group scheme.
Right.
Where we've got a policy number which says this member is covered for so much, and we've got individual policies where we know this member is covered for so much. So there is no if, no, but when.
Okay, so practically we have destroyed the inequality then.
That's correct. And also the rules become clear, and you are underwritten into an insurance company. In fact, you are transferring the risk that as a group, what tended to happen with some groups is that they, over the years, they contribute. They now have £50,000 in their account, and they think they've got a lot of money. Then how many members are covered? You may find that probably there are 50 lives that are covered in member and probably additional lives. If you split that 50,000, it means each one is covered for 1,000 basically. It's not a lot of money when it comes to the bigger picture. So the recommendation is that
then I think now what happens because of that 50,000, what's been happening now, for 9 years, I think you've seen the type of news stories that I sometimes cover. You see that the leader would then use that 50,000 to control everyone else. So to create a territory, Ndininda boss, Ndininda prefect, Ndini the founder. And you know, like ndatoa papa kana ndatoa mama we group iri, every one of you falls under me.
Which we don't,
Group is very
yeah, which we don't do when it's a formalized group, a formalized operation, because
right.
Each individual has got their policy document. They know the terms. They know when they qualify for payout, when they don't qualify for payout. There is no changing of rules at the point of need or begging someone to settle a claim that is due. That's the difference between operating informally and operating formal. So we recommend it to groups we recommend it then to groups that are set up in that structure to say, you can reach out to us. We transfer the risk of paying out lump sums to members from the group to the insurance company, so that over the long term, members' protection is with the insurance company. The group can still survive because you may need to support each other morally. The group becomes part of the extended family. You can support each other. But when it comes to financial exposure, it's not sustainable. Even if you say we are a group and we give each other £2,000, it's not enough.
But then, Jeff, how does that happen practically? Because let's be honest.
It's a challenge.
The person who now is holding the purse. The purse is in Zimbabwe Kansa's name, right? It's in this person's singular name, right? Or they're the only signatory. Now, you are coming up and you're bringing this. Yes, of course, it's a brilliant idea. That look, the policies are now going to be run by a professional company that has got insurance in the UK, that is regulated, right? But then the problem is you're going to take away all the powers of distribution. But so it's because of that.
It's basically
it'll be difficult. It'll be difficult, don't you think, for these group leaders to accept the proposal, because then the proposal, it creates fairness, but at the same time it takes away the control element. So how do you advise, Jeff?
I think it's basically an issue. It's an issue that the group members themselves have to understand, that we need better protection. We need to have a product which is underwritten and reinsured and regulated by the regulatory authority. If the group members understand that, and they then have to give whoever may be controlling the founders or whoever, to say, is there no a better way of us doing this so that it's long term, it's sustainable, and we know that members are equally protected? So it's a matter of trying to look at the benefits of transforming into an insured group rather than remaining an informal uninsured group. The people can still have very good value on that formalization, because you then know that I'm covered for 10,000. My children, I've put them on 10-10, and but if something happens, we are getting the money. Rather than if something happens, maybe we will get the money. And also, what happens with mortality increasing over the years, the group founder members, the elderly in the group dying, the pace is dwindling, and eventually it dries out. The question then is, who will bury the last one? Who will contribute for the last one?
Jeff, we might need to end shortly. I'm going to have to invite you once again to explain this matter, because we actually do have a lot of stories where people have lost money. And in these groups, in these burial societies that are so informal that there's not even a name for the burial society. They are individual projects controlled by, and some of them have just. I actually have got a few who are here somewhere in London, and these folks, they lost their relatives and they couldn't access Marie because maybe the group leader didn't like them. So what I'm saying is, I think I'm going to have to invite you again so that you can give us this commentary, crucial commentary. How do we break? Because there's so many of these pockets, these institutions.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. It's about education.
And the man who akuchema ja, vasisina masimba now, they feel like atina masimba. How do I get the money? How, nobody just say. Ndaka feel like one lady, she lost her brother, half brother, right? And the half brother, pane mistake, there was an error on ku registry, birth certificate. There is even a letter from registry saying, acknowledging that there's an error, a letter with a phone number. That the group leader could have simply called Harare and just verified, is this true? But the group leader just decided, we're not giving you money. So I'm saying, Jeff, we will need, I think, a specialized time, and I think it should be kind of Friday, Saturday. I'll give you, because I think our Zimbabweans will benefit to know what they should do. When you have contributed, we've contributed millions into this fund, into this burial society, and then now it's
yeah, because it's because of the informal setup and also the administrative there's partly misuse of funds, there's administrative inefficiencies. So the groups naturally, if they are not insured or properly underwritten and reinsured, they die a natural death. They are susceptible to failure at some point. And there are a lot of factors that contribute to that. So what we urge people is to say, transform your group into a proper insured group, and then you know that your cover is authorized, regulated. Your cover is got financial conduct, financial compensation protection. Your cover is reinsured. So those are very, very important points that people need to consider, because you don't want to soldier on, and the issue of whether your policy will pay or not pay should not be a gamble. It shouldn't pay. Maybe my policy will pay, maybe my policy will not pay. Your policy, if you are covered, you are covered. It's either you're covered or you're not covered. You can't leave your destiny to chance by hoping that maybe when something happens, I will be paid, although this guy was not paid. So that's why we have these schemes, group policies that we are encouraging people to consider. Either you come in as a group and say, we are taking one policy, we are paying for everyone a universal policy, or you come in as a group and say, I am a COS employer, I employ 50 people, can we have a scheme for our staff, where staff pay for themselves? They pay for themselves, they get their policies, but you know that as an employer, the financial shock of losing an employee is gone. The financial risk of you would have to be forced to pay a lump sum if you lose an employee who has not settled is also removed. So that's what you need to do to manage the risk going forward. Otherwise, you always end up with issues.
Jeff, thank you so much for tonight, for coming. We're gonna need to close, but this won't be the last. I know you should be. I'm hoping that we can have you either Friday or Saturday once again to help guide our people who are stuck in these organizations, these burial societies, and there will be one or two live cases that we've been asked to investigate, where people are even being bullied at present. And I don't know if there's anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers, readers, and listeners, Jeff, as we close and looking into the future of Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. What new products are we likely to see? Are we set to see, let's say, Diaspora Insurance in France, or somewhere across in Americas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
Just
Yeah.
maybe give us your closing remarks. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, and for that, and thank you for all the time. Yeah, as Diaspora Insurance, we are always on the lookout to create solutions for the common good of diasporans and make sure that our people enjoy the best of cover available. The cover is global. The key question is why is to some viewers maybe why do we cover as cash as opposed to providing the traditional goods and services? And that's a deliberate structure because the cover is structured to be a transnational cover, a worldwide protection without borders, which protects people wherever they are in the world. So we departed from the propositions that say if you die, we'll take your body to Zimbabwe, we'll give you a bus, a tractor, we'll give you a generator, whatever. We want to give people policies that allows them to be buried abroad. We want to give people policies that allows them to be taken home if they want to. We want to give a policy that works even if you say I want cremation. If you relocate out of wherever you are in the world now, you should be able to relocate with your policy. So a cash cover will do that because cash knows no border. Therefore, it's a worldwide protection without borders. Not only that, with a cash cover, you also benefit from the fact that the expenses that accrue in the event of bereavement are so many. It's not just about providing transport and coffin or casket. You're talking about family travel, food, church service, flowers, videography, things like after the burial itself, you're planning memorial. That will need money. After the memorial, you're planning tombstone and the tombstone ceremony. All those things would need money and travel. So if you are on a good cash cover, you also getting the flexibility to have a cover that speaks to the reality that your location and your choice is not fixed. Therefore, over the long term, your policy should work. Then also that it covers a lot more expenses. And also importantly, Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan comes as a guaranteed acceptance policy, no medicals, pays out immediately within 24 hours. And it's in hard currency. That's
Wow.
a very, very important factor.
Immediately within 24 hours. That's
Yeah.
I'm sure Zimbabweans have heard that right. Very
Yeah, we have done
strongly
that.
worded.
In fact, on paper we say 24 hours, but most of the times the claims that came in today, midday, before I came on the interview, were settled. As soon as the paperwork comes to confirm death, the monies are paid out. So we make
Wow.
sure that families get the financial intervention they need, but more so in hard currency. Why hard currency? Because this is a long-term policy. And you want to say if you are blessed with longevity, your policy will work for you in the long term in good value. Not to end up with a situation where you are told, top up this, top up this, top up this, because you don't even know what you bought 30, 40 years ago. But with a hard currency policy, your cover is more.
Zvino manje isusu tichabva tangodeclare tobva tangotiza tongonogara kuvenezuela uko kwamusingatoani tongochinja mazita. Hai mazita akanzi anochinjwa muuk umu munozondibata here
UK, my first world countries, it's the risk of cheating is low.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your time, and
I'm looking
all the
forward to
viewers,
have
thank
you
you
next
for your
week.
time as well.
And and Zimbabweans, press the share button. Who is in a burial society that they're failing to get money because of just mere abuse, and as we have seen, a practice that is there in the community. Tell them about Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. It's there online. Just Google, and you can select all the products and press the share button as well. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you.
Yakanakira Diaspora Insurance. So kwatiri inotipa the peace of mind. Because Diaspora Insurance, peace of mind iri tititi.
Rufumu arune ine ushewi zvendambinga tose tinobaya saka chiuya chimbi munamoti chakumiririra kunyangwe uve mhiri yemakungwa unonzwa voti rwaiswa rwendo rwaiswa Diaspora yapindira moyo voti rwaiswa rwendo rwaiswa Diaspora yapindira. Amen.
Diaspora Insurance. Peace of mind guaranteed.
I lost my mom on the 1st of July, and I was a member, but I'm still a member. I contacted the agent, and my mom's funeral was amazing. I can't quote the service. Straight from my heart, you made it so easy for me. I didn't remember my stresses, but you just.
We appreciate that one was given a dignified set off.
So amazing. I'm so grateful. And yes, I lost my mom on the 1st of July, and I was.
Diaspora Insurance. Peace of mind guaranteed.